Oh my gosh.
Kids, those aren't your toys. They're to keep Daddy asleep and awake. I'm gonna need him on my first ship tonight.
Pulling the plug out, the old running your friend over with a car prank, and buying an ambulance. What could possibly go wrong? Get ready to laugh, because today we are back at it, breaking down and reacting to all of the hilarious medical scenes and absurd injuries from one of your faves, The Simpsons. All right, let's dive right in.
Sir, we need to be cautious about this. It's not healthy for a man to double his weight within a day. Triple.
Eating hamburgers or fast food, we do know is not good for you. There have been documentaries on this. You know, you've seen these shows where people just eat fast food, and yes, they're so calorically dense that there's so much calories to them that you'll overeat your daily expenditure pretty fast. Oh, what the heck is that? Missing nuclear inspectors. So if you hang for a very long time, you actually cause significant amount of injuries to the structures of the shoulder and the axilla. Your brachial plexus, all the nerves to your arm, go through your armpit, as well as the vessels. So you stretch those out, you can cause neuropraxia, injury to those nerves.
My heart. This could be my last moment on Earth.
Chest pain after eating. Obviously, the thing we always worry about is a cardiovascular event. Are you having a heart attack? Are you having angina, which is just a medical term for chest pain? Are you having unstable angina? There's a lot of things that overlap in the chest. We check all of these major things when somebody comes to the emergency department. Our job is to rule out the scariest things. Not all the time can we actually figure out what's going on. If we have a high suspicion for cardiac reasons, then we potentially will actually admit somebody to the hospital.
Smithers, this means that no one will mourn me when I'm gone. My only legacy will be the extra radiation in every drop of water on Earth.
Oh my gosh, nice. Okay, so now he's got tears that are radioactive. Not sure if this is actually a real thing, but I will say that in the hospital, say we have people who deal with x-rays and radiation a lot, CT techs and x-ray techs, they actually carry a monitor on them to make sure that they don't get too high of exposure to radiation. If they start to get that way, they need to step away from it.
Don't give up, sir.
No, I give up.
Don't give up.
I give up.
Don't give up.
I give up.
Don't give up.
Seriously, I give up.
He's not on anything that requires him to be connected. Sadly, his assistant moved the bed a little bit so he couldn't reach it. That's actually a normal technique that we use. Sometimes we'll have people who are very confused trying to get out of bed. We actually do the opposite, where we lift the head of the bed up a little bit, but we also lift the legs up, and very difficult to get out of that position. You can still move around, but it's a very safe way to just try to keep an individual in the bed.
I told you, Bernie, to guard the bee.
But why?
Oh, you guys are pathetic. No wonder Smithers made me head bee guy.
Bees are fantastic for us. They help with making honey for us. You get it locally. It's actually quite good for your system because they're using the plants and the flowers that are around where you live, and that's actually very good for you. And pollination, and very good for the environment. But people can potentially be allergic to bee stings. Oh no.
It's getting away.
No! The bee bit my bottom! No, my bottom's big!
Okay, so I don't know the context of the bee, but if you're allergic to bee stings, you know you carry an EpiPen around. People will come into the emergency department, status post a bee sting, and have a huge range of symptoms, from just like a welt to swelling to full body swelling to hypotension. Very scary. If you have an allergy to bee sting and you actually get one, get to the hospital ASAP because things can move quickly. We would give you steroids, we'd give you H1 and H2 histamine type blockers. We would also give you fluids and plus or minus epinephrine. Typically we give epinephrine if there's anything that could potentially compromise your life, including your airway or your blood pressure or cardiovascular output. These are serious things.
The brakes are shot, the engine's rusted, the only thing that works is the siren.
I can tell you as a healthcare professional, the sound of an ambulance, sometimes I hear it, sometimes I actually don't. I hear it so often I tune it out. There's a reason why. It's to get aware that there's an ambulance coming, besides the big, huge rig that's in shiny lights.
Guess what? Your husband is now an ambulance driver.
Don't you need training for that?
So you do need training just to be able to drive the ambulance, because there's all different types of buttons in there and what to do, and radios and how to actually speak to somebody over a radio from the dispatch center, know where to go. You need to know the area that you live in or that you're dispatching from to be able to get to houses quite quickly or to places quite quickly. Typically, ambulance drivers are also medically trained because they have dual purposes. And a lot of these are actually truck type vehicles, so actually might need actually a different license.
Hey, I think it's cool. I can defibrillate Lisa. Not if I pump your heart full of morphine first.
Oh my gosh. You definitely have to have a higher level of certification. EMT intermediates as well as paramedics have different ranges of medications that they can actually give. And in other countries, obviously, there's different regulations.
Those aren't your toys. They're to keep Daddy asleep and awake. I'm gonna need him on my first ship tonight.
So those are the old school defibrillator paddles. We use pads now, but those are the paddles that actually have buttons. Obviously, you just manually do it. It's not going to hurt you. You just have to make sure that there's a conducting gel. It just has to do with conductivity, just like what we would use for ultrasound, where you need the gel to be able to see your image. Then, okay, you don't have willy-nilly needles and syringes and meds ready to go like that. There are meds ready to go, but you actually then have to either reattach it to a specific needle to give medications like that.
We're gonna fix it so you guys save the Dean's life.
Should we correct for wind resistance?
Possibly. What do you think?
Oh!
Oh my.
A lot of times people get hit by cars. They can have a femur fracture, a tib-fib fracture, open fractures, closed fractures. So when we say somebody has an open fracture, it means that it actually popped through the skin. It could be as small as a puncture hole versus like no skin left.
I'm really sorry for the running you over prank.
Prank?
And all those other pranks were my idea too. I'm the one who should be expelled.
Well, I'm touched by your honesty. And who knows, perhaps I've been a bit of an ogre myself.
Yes, you have.
How's this? I'll readmit your friends and we'll forget this whole silly incident ever occurred.
Oh, Dean, this is what your new hip is going to look like. You're going to have to go easy on it.
Oh my gosh. So he ended up hitting an individual and causing a hip fracture, but that's open fracture. And then when you say it's a compound fracture in the media or you hear it, it just means that we would call it something called comminuted, which it's just a lot of pieces, okay? And then we describe it as either overriding, angulated, displaced, all these different descriptions we would use in our documentation. You can have a significant amount of bleeding with femur fractures as well as pelvic fractures. So you do have to be aware of that because we have a lot of bone marrow in those areas and a lot of major blood vessels within the pelvis and around the femur. So a lot of bleeding could happen. Oh my gosh. The Simpsons never fails. There's always medical topics going on in this cartoon and they're quite interesting and we actually get to learn something and be entertained at the same time. So if you guys enjoyed this, definitely check out this playlist right here, Binge Watch It All, and make sure that you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and hit that like button for me. Thank you so much for watching and stay healthy, my friends.